written erotica can be very powerful. And I know, Laura, that's how you first connected to fantasy when you found Nancy Friday's My Secret Garden in your parents' library.
Yes. Reading is my go-to for inspiration, personally. I love, love, love to read erotica, whether it's a long book or a short story. And I know some women like to masturbate while they read. I like to read and get as aroused as I possibly can. And I can't stand it anymore. And then I go masturbate and I replay what I read in my mind, putting me in the story. And if there's anything that I didn't like particularly like, I can just leave that out. So it's another way of
Cherry
yeah,
picking. Yeah,
cherry
cherry
picking.
picking.
Right. And then you're developing your own fantasies in your mind using inspiration from the written word. And we're lucky because throughout history, again, just like with art, they're the written word with erotic ideas and erotic thoughts are everywhere. So, Carlin, tell me what's one of your favorites?
Well, I mean, Nancy Friday, of course, also Anne Rice
Mm-hmm.
put out a series, the Sleeping Beauty series, and I forget
Mm-hmm.
her pen name because it's not Anne Rice.
It's Anne Rolla Claire Rolla. And now, if you find it, if you search Anne Rice Sleeping Beauty, it will come up. Originally, it was a trilogy with 3 books, but just recently, a 4th book. I don't know if they found a
Ooh.
transcript, but it's very popular. I know, like the Sleeping Beauty series, I just fell in love with it, and will reread from time to time
It
too.
was Betty's favorite. Betty
Yeah,
loved reading those. And
yeah,
Betty, I mean, everyone sent their books to Betty, and Betty was kind of um, critical.
yes, yes.
And this was her favorite.
Oh, it incorporates everything. Like, you can't help but find something you like. And if you liked 50 Shades of Grey, this is just so much better. It's well written. And yes, so I would definitely put that high on my list as well. Another one, again, going back into history, Anais Nin. Uh,
I love her as a writer regardless, but Little Birds is
mhm.
exceptional.
Mhm. This one is a collection, Delta of Venus. It's a collection of erotica. That's the other thing too. If you're not ready for, or just prefer reading short stories, you can find a lot of collections of erotica. And that gives you a chance to really explore your preferences, because not every situation, not everything you read is going to inspire you.
I use Rachel Kramer Bussell. She has a lot of erotic story anthologies. And
Mhm.
I was working with a client that was having a hard time connecting to the orgasm, and it was definitely a block in the mind.
Mhm.
And what she connected to was a story of a cowgirl
Ah,
who goes on a solo trip across the states, going to the West Coast, having sex by herself under the stars with Native Americans, cowgirls, cowboys, gangbangs, you name it, she did it. And she got so into it that she bought a whole like cowgirl outfit.
I
and,
love it.
and, and she's in her 70s. And so she came out with the whole cowgirl. Her husband wrote me this wonderful thank you letter because he was like, Carlin, we're having the sex I always wanted. So very often when we fantasize and we connect to something and we
Mhm.
read a story and we get inspired, it can naturally lead into kind of role playing.
Yes, yes. Yes. And it also helps, yeah, definitely, like different settings, also different periods of time. It's just fantasy. I have a body sex friend who is into hentai. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but that's like the Japanese, like it's like kind of like comic book art. But yeah, she has a lot of hentai fantasies, or science fiction fantasies.
Oh, I love the
Um,
ones with the giant squids and the octopuses. Come on.
yes.
All those tentacles, being
Right.
able to stimulate all kinds of things. It's the perfect lover.
Right, right. Reading helps stimulate your imagination, and it gives you ideas. So you're probably going to gravitate more toward one genre that we cover in this. But if you're a reader, And I think I like reading because I like being able to make the visual image in my mind. I like to make the image. And when I read the word, I'm making the picture. And to me, I love it. That's my favorite.